So, as we talked about aura is it is generally said that a person's aura does have a color. So, the color of the aura depends on a person's vibration, a person's thoughts, emotions, because all these, their alignment, their frequencies, and towards what they are vibrating or with what they are resonating, it really, really depends on that. And this is the main factor, some of the really important things that drive human presence. A person being driven towards something and fearing something else and feeling pleasure towards something else, but saying and seeing something else, that person is not aligned enough well, is tend to have an aura which tends to get weak over time. And that weak aura, if it gets weak over time, it weakens the person. It the presence of a person goes weak, different energies, and I would say the energy of a person tends to get attenuated. This attenuation of energy is the fluctuation, and the person starts to feel not so connected and drained out, a state of I don't know what to do, what should I be doing in life, I don't know what's my drive, what's my purpose. So, a little misalignment is what that leads to these questions. As it is said in Buddhist mythology, that we never really get the answers of all the questions. Instead, we lose the questions. And it is all about losing those questions and coming closer to the reality. There are many questions inside us. Once they crop up, there is practically no answer to them. One cannot answer that question. All one can do is to prevent that from cropping up. That prevention of cropping up of a question crosses, makes a person aligned with their own reality. And I would say in one of the I would say ancient languages, in some of the ancient texts, humans are said to be alpakamaska, which is vibrating earth, vibrating landmass. We are nothing but pieces of earth vibrating at a certain frequency. This frequency is the frequency of the universe, which is the primordial Om, or whatever we may call this frequency to be. But this is the frequency that guides us all. It's just like the dance and the dancer. They are not different, they cannot be, they are just the same. They coexist, just like life. Dance happens with the dancer. Dance and dancer cannot be separated, and so is mind and matter, or vibration and mass. That's what is, one can call it paradoxical, but that is the truth of the human being. A person can be paradoxical, this may seem to be paradoxical, but that is just to the logical mind. But the rules or the realms of reality, they live beyond conventional logic. They live in the supreme rationality which runs the universe. So, apart from running the universe, this also changes everything. If you may have come across cymatics, which is the study of sounds, and study of sounds in something which is really, really dynamic. Study of sounds in fluids, study of sounds in solids, and that is very similar to this entire concept of vibration. Moreover, so energy, emotions, and so they are literally the two wheels on which human life runs. They balance us, they get us going, and if they get disbalanced, life tends to take a turn. That turn may be desirable, may be undesirable, but the distance between them should not change. Their speed, their being in tandem should not change. Our energy and emotion, they are very intricately linked. They are interwound, they are interwoven like anything, like just like the honeycomb particles, they are very intricately linked. One up and down of the emotion leads to an epochal change in the energy. Maybe not just of the room, or like not just of a person, but of the entire room, of the entire society. That's how intricately, be it very small example, one emotion going up, one emotion going down changes the whole mood. That mood changes the energy of a person. That changed energy initiates a different set of action. And that different set of action leads to a different outcome. A different outcome creates altogether a different reality. A different reality means that just one single change, one tiny change, led to something which drifted away like just like railway tracks. 1 inch away, a person just moved 1 inch away, and that led to a mile. The same thing goes around in being aligned. Being aligned with the purpose, it's not something that everything takes time, just as growth. If a person is on the right path, that path is generally which is in alignment with the person's sense of being and their reality. A person has a tendency to grow faster and faster, as fast as even faster than a person can even imagine. Because this pace is not driven by human action, but this is driven by alignment. This alignment can take a person past all the distances, all the realms, all the competition, because this alignment is with the vibration, the energy which is running the universe. And that tuning into the energy, tuning into the vibration, sets the tone of the right emotions to come in. When the right emotion comes in, it leads to the right energy, it leads to the alignment, and it leads to the right movement or action, creating the desirable reality. By desirable here, I mean that something that survives or that makes sense to the person, that is good for the greater good, that is in alignment with the greater good. This is something that defines what is going to come up and how things have been going about. I would really thank my viewers for their patient presence, and I really appreciate if you can come up with a few more questions. It's really interesting. I'm really liking the discussion which is going on, and would love to hear your views as well. Maybe you can type your views here, and it's going to be really amazing. Really loving the energy which is flowing and the intensity with which the discussion is going on so far. I'm glad we could touch upon a few very interesting topics of discussion which are less talked about, but they really affect our human lives very deeply, very intricately, and they touch us very strongly as well. They are the ones which set the undertone of how the life is going to be. We can't really touch upon the undertone directly, it's just it comes out as a reaction. We do something, we get a response from our own selves. That response is in the form of emotion, which, like, how we feel. If it feels good, it's amazing. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So that reactive, that internal response mechanism is what literally drives us. And thanks to know that. Yeah, it's really good to know that. Dreams inspire me. I like the name that Dreams Inspire Me. It's a beautiful hashtag. It's a beautiful account name, I would say. And so yeah, it intricately affects the movement of a person, and that driving through emotions, that internal response mechanism of how we feel literally sets the tone of what's right for us and what's literally not. Knowing what's right, they set the tone of all these undertones which define a person's fear and a person's ability to deal with their own fear determines their success. Because if this fear is still, it's just like fire, because it's going to grow exponentially. And if it grows, a person may not be able to handle it then. But when it's like just a very tiny flame, when it's a very tiny flame, it can be taken care of, it can be turned off, it can be put off very easily or with great convenience. But when it grows, it's not as easy to handle. So, with this, I would say I was gonna thank the viewers for today, and we're gonna wrap up the session for now. And soon we'll be joining us. We'll be joining you all with new topics and something which may touch your lives even more. Would love to hear your feedbacks. Maybe you can DM me for that, and that would be really great. Thank you. Thank you so much, the viewers. Take care. Bye bye.